Have you ever had that strange feeling, like you're just playing a character in your own life, that the person you show everyone isn't the real you? Well, today, we are diving deep into the work of the incredible psychologist Carl Jung to tackle one of the biggest questions there is. What does it actually mean to find yourself?
To get started, we've got to face something a little unsettling. It's a realization that really gets to the core of everything Jung talked about. And it all begins with one simple but incredibly deep question.
No, really, just pause and think about that for a second. Your choices, your career, your beliefs, even the things you want most in life, are they truly yours? Or could they be a collection of ideas you've picked up along the way from family, friends, and just the world around you? You know, this whole process is so sneaky, we don't even notice it's happening. From the time we're kids, we learn what gets us approval and what gets us into trouble. We're told to be a certain way, not to be to this or to that. And so, piece by piece, we start hiding parts of who we are. And this brings us to Jung's massive central idea, individuation. Think of it as the journey of becoming the person you were always meant to be, not just the person you were taught to be. But here's the unsettling part. Jung was convinced that most people never actually start this journey. They live their whole lives basically acting out a script written by others.
So how does this split even happen, between our real self and our conditioned self? Well, Jung gave us two really powerful concepts to understand it, the persona and the shadow. The persona, that's the social mask we all wear. It's your professional face, your polite company face. It helps us get along in the world. But then there's the shadow. And the shadow is everything we've pushed down into the basement of our minds, our fears, our secret desires, our insecurities, and even our greatest strengths that we were afraid to show.
Think about it. That person whose arrogance just drives you up the wall, or someone's weakness that just makes you cringe, that intense, almost illogical reaction you feel, Jung would say, that's not random. Oh no, that's a huge, flashing clue.
This is kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it. What Jung is saying is that when we have a massive emotional overreaction to someone, we're often just seeing a reflection of a part of ourselves that we have refused to look at.
There's a name for this. It's called projection. We're literally projecting our own hidden traits onto other people. Now, the goal isn't to destroy your shadow. Absolutely not. The real work is to turn around, look at what's triggering you, and have the courage to ask, hey, what is this trying to show me about myself? Because according to Jung, that's where your true power is, just waiting to be found. And believe it or not, this idea of a hidden self goes even deeper. It's not just about our personal stuff. Jung believed that we're all tapped into these universal, ancient patterns of behavior that he called archetypes.
You can almost think of archetypes as a kind of psychological operating system that all humans are born with. These blueprints live in what Jung called the collective unconscious, a shared pool of human experience, and they're the reason myths, legends, and dreams from all over the world feel so familiar to us.
We all know these characters, right? We see them in every movie, every book. That's because they're not just characters out there. They represent powerful psychological forces that are playing out their own dramas right inside of us. Take the hero archetype, for instance. That's the part of you that wants to grow, to face challenges, to find a purpose. But every single hero has to face their shadow, that nagging inner voice of doubt, fear, and self-sabotage. And here's the key. The point isn't for the hero to kill the shadow, but to understand it and integrate its wisdom. Jung also talked about the anima and animus. These are the unconscious feminine and masculine energies he believed exist in all of us, no matter our gender. He argued that to be a whole person, you can't just suppress one in favor of the other. Real wholeness comes from balancing these amazing complementary forces, our ability to be logical and intuitive, assertive and creative.
All right, this all leads us to what is maybe the most radical, most world-shifting part of Jung's entire philosophy. It's an idea that challenges the very foundation of who you think you are.
So get this. Jung proposed that your identity, your name, your job, your personality, all of it, isn't the real you. It's just a surface-level character. It's a tiny little island in a vast ocean that is your true capital S self. This little island, that's the ego. And its whole job is to create a sense of separation. Its entire purpose is to say, this is me and that is not me. It loves labels, it clings to memories, it holds on to fears, all to keep its sense of a solid, separate identity intact.
And here's the real problem. While we need an ego to function, its very nature is to build walls and create limits. It keeps us locked inside a tiny story about who we are, and it stops us from experiencing the vast potential of our true self. So, the real journey of self-discovery has to be a journey beyond the ego.
Okay, so how in the world do we actually do this? How do we start this process of individuation? Well, Jung's work doesn't just leave us with theory, it gives us a map.
The path forward really comes down to 4 key things. First, embrace the unknown. You have to step out of your comfort zone because that's the only place real growth happens. Second, release attachment to labels. You are not your job, you are not your past, you are so much more. Third, listen to your unconscious. Pay attention to your dreams, your gut feelings, those weird coincidences. And finally, and this is a big one, surrender to the process. This isn't a quick fix, it's the journey of a lifetime.
And here is the most beautiful part of this whole thing. This journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering the whole complete person you already are, right now, buried underneath all the layers of conditioning. It's a homecoming. So I guess the question to leave you with is this: will you keep living as just a fragment of who you could be, or will you find the courage to embrace the whole? It's not an easy path for sure, but it leads to a life that is authentically, deeply yours. The choice, as it always is up to you. Thanks for exploring this with us.